If you're still struggling to get qualified for a personal loan so you can pay some bills or to get your car fixed, I'm going to show you some of the easiest places you should take a look at. All right. Even when your bank or credit union, these lenders may be willing to help you. Now, the first one we're talking about is Credit Cube. And as you can see here, Credit Cube, they offer loans from $200 up to $5,000. All right. Now, here's the thing about it with Credit Cube. Credit Cube is a tribal lender. All right. And I always tell you guys, with tribal lenders, their interest rates is definitely going to be much higher than your traditional banks or credit union. However, they are more flexible. Now, here's the thing about it with a lot of these lenders. As long as you're making a minimum of income of $1,000 a month after tax, then you have a higher chance of being qualified to get the loan. Now, I know some of you all, well, do they loan in my state? Well, here's the thing about it with Credit Cube, and they'll show you right here. Credit Cube does not lend to residents of Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Minnesota, New York, Vermont, Virginia, West Virginia, Illinois, and Georgia. Okay, so if you're in either of those states, then I would not tell you to waste your time applying for this lender. All right, our next lender is NetCredit. Now, with NetCredit, they loan up to $10,000. Now, one of the things that a lot of people, they get frustrated with NetCredit is that you actually can see what you qualify for before they do a hard inquiry, okay? And then if you actually accept what they're offering for us the loan, then what ends up happening, they will do a hard inquiry, okay? But the thing about it with NetCredit, they are very flexible as well. Now, they are a direct lender also, just like Credit Cube. Now, one of the things that you do have to keep in mind, that the biggest thing or the biggest challenge for most people is not the credit score. And I always tell you that your address is one of the biggest things that can affect you from being approved for a loan. All right, so NetCredit is the next one. Then you have Opportune. All right. And I talk about Opportune a lot because, again, a lot of people are not even aware that Opportune loans, they're under CDFI, Community Development Financial Institute. And so what that means is that they are positioned to service underserved communities where it's hard for them to get a loan. All right. And as you can see here, they loan from $300 up to $10,000. Now, another thing about Opportune that people are not aware, even if you don't have a social security number, they still can help you get qualified. All right. And again, as you can see here, you can actually get pre-qualified without actually having a hard pull on your credit. All right. And that's another thing about these lenders. These lenders may charge a higher interest rate than your traditional bank or credit union. However, before you actually accept a loan, you're able to do a pre-qualification to see if you're actually approved. All right. Now, here's something I definitely want to share with you. Again, if you are working a W-2 job and you need money, then I would definitely tell you, you need to go to your HR and sit down and you need to file exempt. Okay, I said this in all my videos, and the reason is because a lot of people are still not doing it and they're financially struggling. But there's only two reasons you cannot file exempt. And so by filing exempt, first of all, what that means is that you get to be able to bring home more money in your paycheck. They stop taking out federal income taxes out of your check. Okay, so there's only two ways for you to get denied. All right, and that is if you owe federal income taxes or you don't expect tax return. The next thing I would definitely tell you or try to encourage you to do is if you worked a previous job or you moved out of state in your last job and you didn't receive your last paycheck or something like that, you definitely want to go to this website, webapps.dol.gov, the Department of Labor. okay, and put your information in, and they will see if you have any outstanding wages. You may have a pension or something like that that may be owed to you that you're not aware of. So you can actually put your information, the company name and stuff like that. And if you're owed any money, you can actually fill out documents to request that they send you out that money. All right. Last recommendations for is helping you find money. You can go to unclaimed.org. Okay. And at unclaimed.org, this is a free site. You're going to check the state that you're in. You click on the state that you're in, and then you put your name and your address. And if there's any outstanding money owed to you, they will actually send you that money. You can fill out a claim, and they will actually send you that money. It could be back child support, that you overpaid on back child support or something like that. But this is one place you definitely want to take a look at. For you guys that are entrepreneurs, you're in the gig economy and stuff, and you're needing a loan and you have bad credit, you definitely should check out Fundo. Now, please understand, Fundo is a merchant cash advance. But one of the things about it with Fundo, they're not worried about your credit. Okay, it has nothing to do with the credit. It definitely has something to do with your you being able to show proof that you are bringing in income, at least for the past 90 days. Now, the minimum income you do have to show is about $1,500, okay? And you have to show that for at least 90 days. Now, they will use Plaid or Decision Logic. So instead of you producing pay stubs or sending in taxes and stuff, this is how they actually decide if they're able to help you. Now, unfortunately, this is not for California nor New York residents. Now, I wanted to back up because I wanted to just point out the type of businesses they help. Freelancers, contract, small businesses, and sellers and franchisees. So even if you're doing MLM, they will still be able to help you. All right. So this is Fundo. Now, the next lender we're talking about, still talking about people in the gig economy, then this is Lendation. Okay, so with Lendation, you can see here, freelance cash advance. And again, it's up to $20,000 for 18 months to pay it back. And you can get the money within 24 hours. Now, one of the things about it in terms of the criteria for that, your annual income is about $25,000 for the year, a 550 credit score, and you've been receiving income for at least 90 days or 3 months. All right. Now, the thing about it, I like about it, this is a platform, but they are able to help those, again, you don't have a regular job, you're in the gig community, and you just want to be able to get some money, maybe to fix your car or to catch up on some bills until your next payout or something like that. This is one of those lenders you want to check out. Other lender we're talking about or to get a personal loan is Reprise Financial. Now, here's the thing about it with Reprise Financial. As you can see, it from $2,500 up to $25,000. All right. And you can do this by doing a pre-qual. Now, here's the thing about it. If you are self-employed, Reprise Financial cannot help you. You have to be as a registered business with a payroll. So that's something that we can actually help you with. All right. Because a lot of people that have that are in the gig economy, they're not registered as a business. So you miss out on a lot of opportunity to raise capital to grow your business. All right. Now, with Reprise, they do a pre-qual, but once they do the pre-qualification, they do look at your experience. So just keep that in mind when looking at Reprise Financial. Next lender is Max Personal Loans. Now, as you can see here, Max Personal Loans, they offer loans from $2,600 up to $50,000. But one of the things that I like about Max Personal Loans is that they are a tribal lender as well. Okay, and here you can see they talk about guarantee, instant approval, quick loans, poor credit, no credit accepted, flexible and easy payments, fast cash mostly in 24 hours. All right, so Again, by them being a tribal lender, the interest rates is going to be much higher. Okay. Now, when I talk about no hard pull on the credit, you can pre-qualify and stuff like that. What I mean is that they won't look at the major credit bureau. They're going to look at the third-party financial credit bureaus that I always talk about, and one of them being Teletrac. And as you can see with Teletrac, they are owned by Equifax, okay? And this is where all your financial data, if you ever taken out a loan online, this is the lender. Then you also have DataX. DataX is owned by Equifax as well. By the way, for those of you that are not aware, yes, you can go here and you can pull your financial credit bureau report, and it will tell you about all the loans you've taken out online and give you more information. Now, like I said, a key to getting qualified usually is not about the credit. The biggest key that most people get denied for is not having an updated address. So when you are trying to figure out what address they're using or whatever, these are the data places that you should be taking a look at. All right, because you also have the credit bureau LexisNexis that has that information, and it may be outdated as well. And you also have Clarity, which is owned by Experian. And as you can see here, like I said, you can get your Clarity report, the credit score, you can do a fraud alert, you can do a security freeze, you can opt out. Okay, so you have multiple options here to be able to get access to your file. And then the last one you have is Factor Trust. Factor Trust is with TransUnion. Okay, and you can put in for a dispute there. All right, so I hope this gives you some insight on other lenders that are out in the market that you can take a look at to get a personal loan, even if the banks and credit unions. So I hope this helps you, and I'll see you in the next video.